Hi everybody, it's Sherry Capella and I am here tonight with I Support Geneva Schools committee member Jerry Krieg. And we are talking about some of the concerns that you have all raised and shared with us and that we have formulated into a frequently asked question document. And so what we're doing is making that document alive. And so we're coming at you now and answering your questions. So tonight we're going to talk about a topic that has been getting a lot of attention, and we want to make sure that we answer it with as specific detail as we can. So the first question I have for you tonight, Jerry, which by the way, this is Jerry Krieg, everybody, has to do with SPIRE. So Jerry, I'm just going to fire away here. A lot of people are asking if SPIRE has paid its taxes. Could you clear this up for us?
I can clear it up for you. So the short answer is yes, SPIRE is paying their taxes. The thing that Sherry mentioned is we did create a fact sheet. So what I'm going to do is reference the items that we have on the fact sheet as I answer that question, because I think there's a few moving parts.
Yeah.
So SPIRE has negotiated with the 7 taxing entities that would collect tax revenue from the property which SPIRE is on, tax revenue. It's being structured as a pilot agreement, payment in lieu of taxes, and that's important for a couple things. First of all, whenever you offer tax abatements to an entity, it's usually done as a economic incentive driver,
okay.
Right? So oftentimes that's done as the property is being developed on the front end. So why didn't they do that up front?
Yeah.
I mean, one thing is the management founders of SPIRE thought that they were going to get a tax abatement or a tax property tax for charity, meaning they wouldn't have to pay property tax. Now there's a couple entities out there. One is an operating entity. They did receive a 501c3, which is there's a charitable tax designation by the IRS for the operating entity. But for the real estate, the state of Ohio said, after they went through an appeal process. To my understanding, they basically said that they didn't rise to the level of the need or the classification, if you will, of that type of tax forgiveness.
Gotcha.
So what they did do is come back and say, all right, so if we're going to pay taxes, we'd like to have a reduction or an abatement.
Yeah.
It's very common tools. In fact, in our district, something that was a very large, and I re-reference it in the literature, like a frequently asked question type of a thing, was similar in size and scope, was Save-A-Lot, the distribution center in Austinburg.
Okay.
So Austinburg, Save-A-Lot distribution, they received something similar in size and scope. I think they actually got 100% tax abatement. Effectively, this is about a 75%. And there's other moving parts there, and I don't want to bog down in the details of it. But in effect, they probably got the deal that they would have gotten up front. Okay, if they had asked for it.
Gotcha.
And incidentally, there's questions. Well, why did our school board have to do this? And I can't answer that. But up front, whenever a business or an enterprise asks for a tax abatement at the county, you go to the county commissioners and the auditor and the treasurer and ask for that. I believe if it's 65% or less, it's just given to them. It's just a courtesy to say, hey, school board, for your interest, are you in agreement with this or not? But it doesn't have to be approved.
Sure.
This was 75, so it had to get approval that way. And the majority of the taxing enterprises, and there are set of them, ratified this sort of agreement. Mm-hmm. Part of the agreement is requiring legislation by the Ohio Congress.
Okay.
So, but in good faith, SPIRE has already made a payment. They made it's $3.96 million over 10 years, so $396,000, and the annual payment was paid last October.
Okay.
So the short answer is they've made that payment.
Good.
The other thing that, when people talk about it, SPIRE's this robust,
Yeah.
Olympic and Paralympic training facility. And most every community that I talk to, they'd love to have it in their backyard.
Absolutely.
They'd also love for their school to be able to use it. Well, part of the negotiations recently is the school board has entered into a 20-year agreement, and the first 10 years is free. There's no effective rent payment. Well, they did talk about, well, how much would that be as far as a fair use a tax if we were to have to pay it? What would be the fair market value of that? Well, it's $2 million over the 10 years, $200,000 a year. So that's a good thing for our school district.
Absolutely.
When you're in a financial crisis situation, which our school district is right now, it's very important to understand that this is a luxury that they don't have to pay for right now. And also having the facilities at SPIRE, it's more of a facility than the school board could expect the taxpayer to pay for.
Yep.
I mean, most districts in our area, they have an outdoor football field, they have an all-weather track, and they have locker rooms, and that's about it.
That is it.
So here we have an outdoor facility, we have an indoor facility, we have an indoor track, we have we have an aquatic center for swimming. We have a banquet facility that's there. They have the graduation in the indoor track building every year. So they have negotiated a usage agreement that says the school can use it for these types of events. I haven't taken a deep dive to see exactly what's in there, but everything that's in there that they would have been paying before, they're not paying for now. There's probably things that they could or may want to use in addition, and that probably would be outside the scope of that agreement. But at the end of the day, what the school is using in their everyday activities for athletics and for graduation, but for the next 10 years, you're not going to have to pay for it. And by the way, they were smart enough to put in there some language that says, all right, well, when we start having to pay fair use, what is it going to cost us? Well, they put in there it's a percentage of a certain budget item, so that they can be assured that it's always going to be affordable. So it's always going to be below market rent for Geneva schools during
serve the community
during this term of this lease.
That's wonderful. Good. And so that's kind of all encapsulated in this form that you have put together, this reference guide.
Yep, it's this reference guide. It's an FAQ sheet regarding the SPIRE question, because there's a lot of moving parts in questions. This is one of them, and it's kind of a complex issue. So we put together this sheet to kind of answer those questions. So if you watch this video, what I would encourage you to do is read this sheet, and if you have any questions, go to our website, isupportgenevaschools.com. There's an email address there. There's a phone number. You can text us. You can leave a voicemail, and somebody will call you back with an answer.
Wonderful. And or you can even add comments like Jerry mentioned in this thread. As you're watching this video, there's a comment section down below, and we'd be happy to get your questions answered. All right, Jerry, thank you so much for going over this with us. Bye, everybody. Bye.